At that time, my life was just in the pit.
When I did realise that he was into drugs, I knew that it was no good me having a big argument with him.
I'm dealing drugs, I'm selling guitars, it's just like crazy, you know.
It was his problem and he had to face it. If it was something that I could do for him, I would have done it. But no, when they're in drugs, they have to do it for themselves, you know. So I just stayed back. I was still his great friend, and I prayed. And secretly I cried, like all mothers do.
In 1980, I became friends with this great guy, Chester Thompson, who was Phil Collins and Genesis drummer, you know. And he told me him and his wife are Christians, and oh, great, you know, that didn't mean anything, you know, they went to church, great, you know. It got round to Easter Day 1982, and he invited me to go to church. When I first walked in here, I thought, there's no way this is a church, because this area was packed with people, you know, at the beginning of the service, doing the fellowship and all that, you know. And so I thought, well, there's no way this is a church because these people are happy.
I think there were some changes in his life where he had to say, okay, I better deal with this situation right now. But I remember when all that was going on in his life, and I really felt for him, and I thought, I'm going to leave him alone, because I was still a major party animal, and I thought, it sounds like this guy needs God and a bit of peace in his life right now. And he found that.
I walked in, and the first thing I saw was about here was a mixer, it was the sound guy, you know. And there was this big Yamaha mixing console. And on the platform up there was a whole bunch of instruments and drums and guitars and stuff. So my first impression was that there was no way this could be a church, because, you know, there's all these instruments and stuff and everybody was happy. So I thought my friend had taken me to a surprise gig. So I thought maybe the Grateful Dead or somebody was going to come out on stage and blow us all away, you know. So we walked down here, you know, and took a seat. It would have been around this section around here. Yeah, about here. I'm sat in the church during the worship time as people are singing, you know, the same voice I heard in the hotel room speaks to me right there, second time. They started to sing this little chorus. Back then, I think chorus, what we call choruses, had just come in, you know. So I didn't recognize anything they were singing, except there was this one tune that caught my attention, which was a song called In My Life, Lord, Be Glorified Today. It just goes round and round like that, you know. And that was the tune that the Lord used to soften my heart in this place, and it caught my attention. And the next thing I know, people are lifting their hands, you know, it's a Pentecostal church, and I'm thinking, wow, what's going on here, you know. And it was interesting because the only thing I heard of the lyric, you know, being a musician, you start to analyze the chord changes and everything. Oh yeah, that's nice changes, that's a pretty tune, you know. But I couldn't hear all of the lyric except one word, which is today. You know, and the tune goes, in my life, Lord, be glorified today. And today was the only word I heard in the tune. And every time they would repeat it, it seemed to get louder and louder, you know. And so as I'm thinking of, you know, what is going on here with this one-word tune, the same voice I heard in the hotel room speaks to me right here in this place, in the middle of that song, and says to me, Caleb, it's time for you to come home to me today because I have a new life for you. And then the light bulb went on, and I suddenly realized, I recognized that was the same voice I'd heard in the hotel room. That was the same voice I promised myself one day I would find out who it belonged to. And I suddenly realized, this is Jesus.